Hi everyone, so I'm just going to do a demo of the videoscribe software for you, for those of you who want to try it out. So when you launch videoscribe, this is what you should get, and the first thing you do is create a new scribe. So this takes you to your screen or canvas, and this is just one big white canvas. So once we start populating this with material, you'll be able to see how it works. So the different options that you have are shown down here. So we can add images, we can add text, we can add charts. This is the timeline down here, which I'll show you in a minute, but let's first of all, we'll just start with adding an image. So there is a library of images that videoscribe has, and we can choose any of the images from here, or we can choose images that we've created ourselves. It's really up to you. If you're quite good at doing little sketches, you can use a black Sharpie pen and do some outline sketches. And then those images have to be saved as SVG files, and then they can be imported into videoscribe. But let's just use, let's say this one from the stock of library images. So there are some library images here that are free. There's lots of different topics, so technology, vehicles, business, characters, lots of different images that you can use. So let's see, money. So just choose an image. So once we've got a couple of images on our canvas, we can move them around by clicking on them. We can make them bigger or smaller by scaling. We can rotate them as well. So there's, again, you can just move them, and then you can zoom in and out. There we go, we can zoom in and out. So if we wanted to set the camera just on one particular image, for example, we would move it probably to zoom in, and if we just wanted that image on screen, then we can select the image, and then what you do is you click this little camera icon down here, and then that sets the camera on that particular image. Now, it automatically draws these images. So if I go up to this little icon up here, play from start, so this plays it from the beginning of the animation. And what it does is it uses the default, which is the hand. Then it's moving on to the next image that we've chosen there. And again, it's got a set time that it takes to draw these images. So what we can do is that we really need to set the timings to fit with our voiceovers, etc. So I'm just going to move this one a bit further away from this coin, because this coin keeps coming into our shot. So we don't want more than one image on screen at a time. I'm just going to go back and set the camera on that one. If we go down to here and click on the actual image and then expand out this is the timeline down at the bottom here. So we can see underneath that it's got it set as 6.5 seconds to draw this, this little figure. So we probably wouldn't want it to take as long as that to draw a little figure. So I would probably say maybe 1.5 seconds. You can also have pauses in between images. If you want to set pauses, at the moment its default sets 0.5, so that's okay. There's also a transition time, and then the camera settings are there as well. You can lock it once you've set everything that you want to. You can hide an element, you can bin it. The element properties are quite good to look at. So here again, the drawing style was to have a hand, okay? But if you don't want to have a hand drawing it, sometimes I think it's better to have no hand. So you could just have no hand and it would just draw it in without a hand. But if you did want to have a hand, you can choose, like there's different pen options as well. You can have like chunky marker. So that's just giving you an example of that particular pen. It's giving you a preview, so you can have like, there's different skin tones and different actual pens, so you can choose like a marker, or if you want a crayon effect, you can have a crayon drawing it in. So that's giving you an example there, but I think I prefer actually to have no hand. So let's just see if it's remembered what I've asked for. Drawing options, drawing hand. I don't want a hand, so I'm just going to have no hand. And then the drawing options here, again, you can have things just move in rather than draw, or fade in if you want a fade effect. So you can play around with those things. And I think that's, yeah, same here. You can have grayscale, outline, full color. We've got for full color. There's graphic filters as well. You can have a glow, you can make it brighter. So that's it just now. So let's just see if we play from the beginning again. So you will probably do this quite a lot. It hasn't saved my settings. Wait a minute. Go back. So element properties, drawing hand. I don't want a hand. So I want to click that. And I think you have to check the little box down here. So that's what I didn't do. So again, if we play from beginning, there we go. There it is, drawing the person quite quickly, but without the hand. The next element still has the hand. So obviously you want to be consistent throughout. So the default being the hand, obviously you have to remove the hand from each of them. So again, drawing hand, no hand, tick, tick. But you might like having a hand, I don't know, it's up to you. So this one is set at 8 seconds for draw time. So again, that's quite long, but there are more elements to draw in this one. So let's set it at 2 seconds. And we will also set our camera position at that. And then let's see if we play it in the beginning. So now we've got our little person, and then it comes in and draws the coin, and it's much quicker. So we can move our different elements around on the timeline as well. So just by dragging and dropping, we can move the, oops, just drag and drop. And now it will draw the coin first. So let's just see if it does it. There we go, it's drawn the coin first, and then it's drawn the person. Okay, so you will end up replaying this from the start quite a lot just to see how it looks. Other things to note. So you can add text in. So let's see if we want to add some text. Again, so you can choose different fonts. It has a library of fonts. You can have them regular, you can have them black, thin, light. There's more fonts there. You can align them to the left and the center, and you can choose the color. So let's just say visualize thesis competition. That's what we want to put on. I don't really like that font too much. You need to choose something that, you know, is fairly easy for people to read. Let's have a look down the list, see what there is. So something like this one, Poppins, that looks quite nice. And then maybe you want to change the color of it. Although I think, you know, staying with a dark grey to black is probably a good color choice. Okay, so that's our font. So just tick, and then let's put it right in the middle. So again, you'd want to move this around, and doing so, you just click on it and move it around. So this is just one big canvas. I'm just going to put this right up here so that I can zoom in a bit on it, zoom in and out, and get that centered in my screen without any other visuals on there. And then again, just to set the camera on it, you would just select it and set the camera. and then that'll stay in that camera angle in shot. So that's text, and then there's charts as well. So you can add charts if you want. Probably you wouldn't do that. You would probably create your charts in another program and then insert them into videoscribe as an image. Other features that it has, so up here there's music. So it has a big long library of music that you can choose from. So usually you can get a little so dependent on what the tone of your film is, you can choose a piece of music. They have the different genres here. So ambient, blues, dance, easy listening, funk, jazz, etc., etc. So you can choose your music that way, or if there's a piece that you've remembered from looking at it before. So here's one that's loop friendly tracks. So that might be quite useful for you, just because there's like only a minute in your piece. So here's one, Blue Attitude, that's a minute long. Okay, so let's choose that one and just click. So then that is our backing track selected. So now so again, we might want this at the beginning because this is our sort of title. It just depends on the script that you've written if you want a title or not. This is quite long, the length of time that it takes to animate it in. So again, we'll just put that right down to maybe a second for it to draw it in. And we've moved it to be at the beginning. And the music, at the moment is quite loud. So I think you can set the volume there. You can have it, a bit lower, because obviously you don't want the music to be any louder than any voiceover that you might have. I think it's quite good sometimes to have a low backing track because it just adds an extra dimension to your piece and it can really bring an animation to life. So that's music. If you want to record a voiceover, you can record it here. You can record straight into the software. So I have, built-in microphone into the computer. So if I just want to record, I'll press record now. Just give me a countdown. Today we're going to be doing a presentation on visualizing your thesis competition. And then just press stop, and then it's processing the audio. And then that should now be there. Today we're going to be doing a presentation on visualizing your thesis competition. Obviously I hadn't practiced properly, so I stumbled a bit. So again, you need to practice your voiceover. So that's voiceover, adding it in. This one is background options. So you can just have plain white, and I quite like plain white, especially if you're just doing sort of stick figure drawings, etc. But there are other options for different types of background. You can have a vignette there, so a soft vignette's like just a little haze around the edge, hard vignette. So let's see what that looks like. So there you go. So there's a background with a hard vignette. Again, obviously positioning of all your elements is crucial in this. So you can play around with the background. Soft vignette looks like this. Not quite as strong. So maybe having a soft vignette is quite nice. There you go. There it is on a white background. So again, you can play around with the backgrounds, and then this is the default scribe hand. Let me just see what's saying. Change the hand used on all the elements of your scribe. So if you don't want to have the hand on all of them, you can just remove it there from all of the elements. So if we now play from the beginning, let's see what we've got so far. Okay, so things are, starting to shape up a bit with the animation. Again, you can just, if you've got photographs and you just want to import a photograph, you can do that. So that again just comes under image. On your desktop, you might have a photograph. I've imported some here before. Here's one from a workshop that I did previously. So let's see. This was a group of students in Berlin. So if I bring them in, move them to a different part of the canvas. And what you can do when you've just got a photograph, rather than wanting to draw it, you don't want this to be animated as a drawing. What you would do with that one then is just go back to your element properties here, and instead of draw, you can just move it in or fade it in. Okay, so I would probably just fade in a photo, or you could move it in, and it'll ask you where you want to move it in from. So you want it to be, you don't really want it to bounce in, but just a smooth move in. You can move in from different sides. So maybe you want to move in from the top of the screen, and we don't really want it to take 7 seconds to come in. So we'll just say half a second to come in, and then tick. Let's see what that does. So you can play from current element as well if you're just working on one element. So that drags it in just from the top. Again, the hand was there, so if you don't want a hand, I don't particularly like the hand, so I would just say no hand, and that's it there. And you'll see also at the end, the camera is like panning out to show the whole screen. So you don't, you can change that at the end by, let's just see what happens at the end. There's something, change camera settings. So that is what the camera sees. I think it's when you come to export the movie that it will give you an option of what happens at the end of the movie. So say we then want to save, you can save as you go along. So save, we'll just call this one visualize your thesis. Demo. Just save it with all my scribes. And so here I'll just save it within videoscribe. But then of course you can save it to go to the internet. So that's here if you want to share directly to, you can create it as a PowerPoint. So probably for us, if you are going to use this, this is your software, you probably would want to have it as a PowerPoint movie, because then we can easily integrate it with the bookend PowerPoint files that we need to for the Visualize Your Thesis competition. So, you can download it as a PowerPoint movie, or you can just download the video to your desktop. So this is the little button here that's saying zoom at end. And actually, I think it's better not to have that checked, because it's kind of zooming out to the whole presentation at the end. So I don't think it's good. You might want to just finish with whatever you're finishing with. And then it's saying here, select a render or share option above. So I'm going to say PowerPoint and see what it says. So then it's starting to render out the video as a PowerPoint movie, or for PowerPoint. So let's see what happens. I've actually never shared it as a PowerPoint before, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen here, but it's doing something. And obviously this one is just going to be a few seconds long. It's not that long a video to render out, so it shouldn't take too long. Yours will be a minute long in the end. Okay, so it's just going to save it out to my desktop, so I'll just put save. And that's going to put it to my desktop. So there's, you know, here we are. So here it is in PowerPoint already. So that's good. So it's just playing in PowerPoint. So, yeah, so that's how you do it. And then you can save here as well. Screen here, save to your computer, or save copy to online scribes. So there's different options there. So those are the main things that you can play around with. I think there's one other feature I just wanted to look at with you, which was in the element properties. There's this feature which is morph, and that again is just if you have like one drawing and then you want to morph it into a different shape. So let's just see what it does when we play that. Play it from this side. I don't know what it did there, if it did anything. But maybe you have like two drawings that are slightly different. So maybe one's the stick figure with his hand on his head and one's the stick figure with his hands on his waist. And you want to morph one into the other in a transition, you can do that as well. Okay, so that's really all the basic features. Again, you can use these arrows to sort of navigate around the canvas. If you don't want to just use the, you know, holding down and dragging feature, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. And then this is the home screen where you can just see all the elements that are on your canvas. So I'll be happy to take any questions that anybody has after this video in the next week or so. If you've got any questions, please do get in touch. But that's all for now. Thanks, bye.